So welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that brutal OST as we have returned with our final best of 5 here of the night. We just wrapped up with Future versus Strange, and now we are here with a very different matchup with a Zerg versus Terran. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat, and you can get a link to these Matcherino pages. You can support these show matches if you wish. By no means do you have to, but the Matcherino pages are there if you want to help support these players as we are getting into our next best of 5 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have the Mexican Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Future. We go. Our first Zerg player in these show matches. I mentioned before, we've had Geralt Strange for Protoss, we've had Milky Cow for Terran, and now we have Zerg here for, Cham for Zergs. So I do love the variety that we're going to be getting here, and an interesting opener as we're loading into Golden Aura. I was very tempted, I'll be honest, I was very tempted to actually pick Radisson Station again for game 1, but at the same time, I was like, I don't want to make them play on Radisson Station every start of the series. We'll spice it up, went for Golden Aura instead, and I'm ready for it. We do see Future going for an interesting opener, not going for a 2-Rax, going for a Rax expand into a factory as a part of this wall. A very different opener, very different compared to the typical kind of Beyond 2-Rax here on the low ground. Instead, this is more of a special opener. Juanito has been quite fond of going for this instead, going for the factory. Beyond has played around with it a little bit, and we can see that Future is maybe a little bit fond of it as well. Assuming that it's a factory. And not a second Rax. For now, Marine's going to be racing around. Because it was Marine first, we're looking for Overlords to shut down, but Cham, something that is known about him is that, fun fact, if you looked at his ZvTs, he actually doesn't send his first Overlord across the map. He does keep both of his Overlords at home instead to scout for proxies. So, yeah, he just so happened to counteract this in a way. The goal here of these Marines was to shut down the Overlord, and it just is nowhere to be seen because it's back at home. Meanwhile, there's that factory on the way. Future just getting set up here on 2 bases, and we're settling in towards that mid-game. Likewise, Cham going for a hatch gas pull into a 3rd base. Important that I point this out because Cham has been known to be hyper-aggressive. He's a bit of a roach boy, kind of like Dark, or kind of like some of these other more aggressive Zerg players out there. Cham is one to be in your face with Roach Ravager, or with an early Roach timing. So important to bear in mind that he has opted to go for a standard opener to kick things off. And as we settle into this fresh best of 5, also, I was catching up in the chat. Disable 2 and it's like disabling 0. That's why you have 5 Colossus. True. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. Just don't stop making Colossus, just so you always have 1 firing at a time. The logic is there. Not wrong. As for now, it's going to be a straight up 1-1-1. Okay, Future. You have my attention. Hellions. Oh god, I forgot to get La Tortuga. I need to remove it. God damn it. I'll try to do so after this game, as we are going for a straight up 1-1-1, a very aggressive opener here from Future, delaying his 3rd base, and we can see that it's not just a 1-1-1. We have an armory on the way. Hellbat push is upon us. And it's going to be on Cham to defend here with his Lings and Queens. He has 4 Queens so far, but 3 more on the way. It's going to be 7 in total, and hopefully we have another wave of Queens afterwards to get up to at least 8. Now, it isn't necessary to have a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest to defend against a Hellbat push. If you have a high enough Queen counts, and if you have good positioning with your Lings, then you can survive. You can shut this down. It is going to be a tough defense, but can be a defense nonetheless. Here we go, the Medivacs have arrived. Marines as well, and we do have the Morphin of Hellbats right on top of the Queens. Queens are going to back off. The build has revealed itself. Cham just trying to kite as best he can, trying to buy as much time as he can as possible. Ooh, Lings do go down, but the Queens, they get a good arc. They get a good concave. Up, the drones! Oh my god, 4 workers go down. So many of them get roasted, but they do escape. And the Hellbats are stuck. There is no escape. There's no way out. And they do get shut down. Only 4 worker kills. A good defense here by Cham. The Marines are going to be saved. We do get on top of one of those overlords. But so far, Cham, he has preserved his worker count. He's going to be joining up behind this. He is going to be forcing Future the hell out of here. Meanwhile, Future, he's doubling down. He is going for a 3rd TC, so it's not a 2-base all-in, but he's getting into Banshees. Also, 1 minute. I was trying to remove the logos mod. I can't do so when I'm in game, but after this game, we'll get rid of it. But now we can see Future just being as active as he can with this drop. He's just trying to pull apart his opponents and get whatever damage he can. Lings, they have arrived. They take down one of the Marines. But looking at the vision of Cham, again, I mentioned before that he is not really one to go for Overlord Scouts. He doesn't know that Banshees are on the way. Now, we do have spores in position. A spore in each mineral line. The 4th base is a bit exposed. And if we get up to a high enough Banshee count, 2 Banshees, you can even threaten Queens as well. Don't just have to go for drones. As we are just cutting Banshee production at 2. Meanwhile, a Spire is on the way. Cham going Lingbane Muta. Let's go. I am ready for it. Spire so far unscouted. It's a good way to shut down the drop play of his opponent. Banshees have arrived. They're making a beeline for the 4th. Overseer's on the way. Queen's in position, but there's no detection. Not yet. As the Banshees, they ignore the 4th. They go for the natural, where there is a Spore Crawler. We could maybe try to pick off some of these Queens. We get 1 drone. We get 2. Not too bad. 3 workers and both Banshees survive. But ideally, we want more than this. The least that I ask here as the Banshees make their way towards the natural, we do get the Scouts, and we get eyes on the Spire. Let's go. Spire has been spotted. We are aware of the Muta play, and we should be preparing back at home. Future's just going to confirm that, and again, he has seen the Spire being made. eBay is going to be required, and turrets should be on the horizon here for our Terran. We do get a couple more drones. Not too bad. Really good control here. 10 drones in total. And instead of getting ready for the Mutas defensively, we're pushing. And I do like this as well. Basically, Cham, he's a little bit caught off guard. He's spending all of his gas on Mutas, which means no Banelings are ready for this. 0 Banelings are ready, but we have 7 more Banelings in production. We just need more time. Future pushing forward. He catches a Muta. Does get 1 Muta for his troubles. Not a bad pickup. Getting on top of the Queens, but the Banelings are banking up. Bailing speed is done. Cham, he's getting ready to collapse on this position, and here we go. He pulls the trigger. The Queens move forward. The Lings, they get a surround on the tanks. A couple of good tank shots, but Banelings, they do make it through. Oh, the target firing. Oh my god. Good target firing by Future, but it's still not enough. He is overwhelmed, and the Ling Muta chases him back. We have reinforcements. But without Banelings, we cannot fight this, not head on. This is the power of Golden Aura. Short resistance by ground. 6 more Banelings, 7 more Banelings on the way, but Future, he's here. The Future is now. 3 Banelings left, 0 Banelings left once again. Beautiful target firing here from Future. And he's breaking on through, getting on top of the Queens. We have more Banelings finishing up though. Cham isn't out of this. He's going for the dive. Tanks go down. Fighting off a creep like this though. Oh my god, the target fight. 1 Baneling connects, but 1 Baneling, not quite enough. As Future just keeps on pushing. It's all or nothing here for the Terran. Behind this, he's 8-raxing. On 3 bases, no 4th. He gets on top of the Queens. And again, without Banelings, there's nothing to contest this army. Cham, he's crazy. He's still squeezing out more Mutas. He's up to 15 Mutas here. Behind this, 4th CC is on the way, on location. A little bit off-center, but it's all good. We can always reposition. Future is working on that next step. 2-2 is soon to kick in. And he's slowly getting within range of these bases. Bearing in mind, he's been trading very well against the Lingbane, but he hasn't touched the economy. Not with this push. Tank is... Oh god, no! Tank goes down. Oh my god, some Banelings did connect, but Future, he just keeps on pushing. He's still not slowing down. Good target firing. Oh my god, once again. Kiting well against the drones, and he's finally done some economic damage. He's finally broken the fourth base. 15 drones go down, and this is more than enough. This is what he's been waiting for. Up. Failing some okay connections. And it looks like we have enough mutas to overwhelm these Marines. Not the best trade from Cham, but he cleans up the army. And he will chase down these medevacs. Expensive losses here for Future. Every single medevac goes down. Cham, he's still in this. He keeps the base alive. He's down in workers. That is true, but he's taking the gold. No shot. In the middle of all of this, in the middle of the defense, he took the gold base and he's main-eyeing over. Rushing into this gold, even though Cham did lose 15 workers, suddenly that doesn't mean as much. Not with this gold base being taken. Oh my god. Cham sharking around with these mutas. Looking for a way in. Containing his opponent. Future, he's on 4 bases though, 5th on the way. Not a bad economy. 74 workers, he's building himself up once again. The question becomes, what does Cham do with this map control? And he does have map control. He's on 5 bases now. He can maybe get a 6th. Tech up into Hive Tech is what we're waiting for. For now, Cham staying on Lair Tech instead. He's committed to his Lair Tech army. Thors have arrived, and there it is. Infestation Pit is on the way to start working towards that Hive. Meanwhile, Future is just hard switching out of tanks into Widow Mines, Thors, Marines, everything that shoots up. Everything anti-muta. And this is still pretty close. It's still neck and neck. I kind of want to favor... On the one hand, Cham, he's got the gold base, and that's really kicking in. That's really helping him stabilize. On the other hand, when it comes to the army itself, the lack of Hive is concerning. Lack of Hive is going to be concerning. The medevacs! The mutas do catch them. Oh my god. A lot of mutas going to be going down, and again, the quality of Future's army is just that much better. 3-3 is on the way. He's going to be pushing. How many Widow Mines do we have? Not two, only 2. Oh. A bold move here from Future. Meanwhile, Cham is getting ready for this round. He has maxed out. I don't think Future can push in. Reinforcements are on the way. These Widow Mines, they need to be perfect. First shot's going to be going up. Not a bad connection, but the Lingbane comes in from behind. Oh, and we are crashing into these Marines. A good chunk of them do make it through, though. We still have a Thor. And Future, he can keep on pushing. That was a big fight, a big investment from Cham, and he just bled out far too much. Cham taking a big blow to his supply. There's a roll in, but it's not going to be enough. It looks like Future has broken through. He gets on top of the base. Hatchery falls. Bailing's rolling in. Good connections. But the Thors, oh my god, they take down every single muta. And GG is going to get called. Future takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very clutch defense out of Cham, but really good target firing. I feel like that game, that map, was a really good showcase of the control that Future has at his fingertips. Like, so often we saw him go head-to-head against Lingbane and be able to very quickly, very crisply just focus down so many of those Banelings before they could close the distance. Really impressive. Really impressive stuff. Future was able to flex that micro, able to eventually break Cham. A lot of this also came down to how aggressive Future was and how short the rush distance is on Golden Aura. These pushes, it doesn't take too long to go from one side of the map to the other. There was just so much pressure on Cham there, and what I will say is that it was impressive that he was able to sneak out with that gold base. That did, of course, help. Don't get me wrong, but alas, he just wasn't able to keep up with the aggression of Future. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the Mexican Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player representing Matcherino Esports. It's the Red Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Future. We go. As for now, we're going to be settling into this. Once again, Future going for the low ground racks. Does make plenty of sense on side Delta. There is a ramp leading into the natural. This is one of the few maps that actually has this feature. And because of that, going for these... Oh my god! Going for a CC first? I was going to say going for these racks and these low ground walls are a lot more powerful on a map like side Delta. But we're just ramping up the greed here. CC first from Future. Bold move, especially against Cham. But as we can see, Cham, he's going for a standard opener. Hatchery, into Gas Geyser, into Spawning Pool. As a result, Cham, he's not going to be able to punish this. He shouldn't be able to punish this opener, and yeah, Future, he's just going to be able to get into the swing of things. CC first into a 2 racks, it looks like. There we go. 2 racks is on the way. Now, I imagine this is going to be Future's variation of 2 racks. Typically, when we see this kind of setup, if we were casting Bjorn or Cure or any kind of Korean Terran, we would assume that Reapers will be on the way. I'm making the assumption that Marines are going to be on the way instead, just because of Future's tendencies, but we'll see. As the Raxes are finishing, and yep, Marines are on the way. So, even when the Bjorn opener was in its prime and everyone was doing it, even Future wouldn't really go 2 racks Reaper. He would commit to 2 racks Marine. There's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, this is quote-unquote stronger because it means that the Marine count early on is going to build up over time. Much faster, I should say. So the eventual sting timing is going to have more Marines and is going to be a little bit more crisp because we're not wasting any production time on add-ons. This is true. The downside is this. No scouting. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. That's the downside of what Future's build is. Because if his opponent was going for a Roach Rush, or a Bane Bust, or any kind of aggression, or like a fast Lair, or a Lin Queen Nidus all-in, or 2 base, anything like that, anything crazy, Future would have no idea. He is in the dark. So there is a bit of a give and take here, and that's also the power of the Reaper opener, is that it doesn't just threaten your opponent's bases, but it also gets scouting information, and knowledge is key here. So basically, Future is taking a bit of a risk by playing like this, and we'll see if it pays off. So far, it has. So far, Cham hasn't really gone for anything out of the norm. So Future is just getting into his 2-1-1, getting into his factory, his starport, medevac production, and eventually his stim push with 16 Marines. And that's basically going to be the first time that Future sees anything across the map, is with his first move out. And thankfully for Future, again, Cham is just playing normally, we're just getting a 3rd base, droning. Queens are moving out to spread that creep. Everything is looking good for Future. There it is. There's a reactor on the way for the factory. You should be seeing that add-on swap. When it comes to what Cham is up to, now this is also, I feel like these players are actually surprisingly similar now that I think about it. I mentioned at the start of game 1, Future's rush into his Marine opener didn't really do much in game 1 because Cham typically doesn't send out Overlords, and that's the case here as well. This is just a very Cham thing. He does focus his Overlords, his first 2 Overlords, to scout for proxies. He doesn't send them across the map to scout. So he doesn't really know what's coming his way. It could be a 1-1-1, a 2-1-1, a 4 racks even. And Cham also has no idea. He even delays his Overseer scout as well. Instead, he's just very safe with his play. We've got an abundance of Queens. We have Lings as well. Cham has to play very reactively here to what Future is doing. What I'm saying is, neither player here likes to scout. No one is scouting, whatever. Whatsoever, even. Who needs it? Who needs to scout? Nah, man. Don't worry about it. As Marines are going to be threatening some of this creep here. Lings, they do engage. The Queen's not quite here to support, but we get the surround. And Future, this move out gets punished hard. I was a little bit shocked. I was caught off guard that Future moved out like this, because usually we wait for the medevacs. We wait for the medevacs, then we move out so we can drop. We have the healing to support. We can of course pick up and micro out of that. And Future, a little bit greedy, a little bit too cavalier there, loses a big chunk of his Marines. That is 13 Marines. And suddenly, this medevac push is that much weaker. This is what we were building up towards. It was meant to be all about this medevac push, and alas, we still have some Marines, don't get me wrong, but this shouldn't really threaten too much here. Cham should be able to actually cancel the base. Oh my god. Okay, we force a cancel, not bad. We at least achieve that, but again, outside of canceling this hatchery, I do feel like Cham should be able to keep up, and these Marines shouldn't pose too much of a threat. I forgot to get rid of, god damn it, the turtle. Ay. But alas, behind this Future, just going to be reinforcing, moving out with his tanks, getting ready for his third base. And I should also emphasize that even though it was a 2-1-1, even though it was a very committed build, it wasn't all in. It's committed though because the third base still isn't done, and Cham is double expanding. He's taking a fourth and a fifth base at the same time. Cham on a solid economy, and Future, this 2-on-1 had to do more damage. Denying the fifth base was okay, but we still need more. And Cham is getting ready to collapse on these tanks. One tank gets caught out. Oh my god. Good tank volleys though. Future, he does hold on. Tank shots are going to be going up. Once again, good target firing on those Banelings. And this hatchery taking a lot of hits. Can we save it? Can we save the hatchery? Reinforcements are on the way. Ooh. Bailey's gonna be connecting, and here we go. Cham, he pulls the trigger, gets us around, cleans up the tanks, and forces this back. Cham, he will save that hatchery, just barely. Reinforcements are on the way, and Future is gonna try to keep this going, but now he's down to a single tank. Did keep most of his Marines, or a good chunk of his Marines, alive at least. Meanwhile, Cham, he has freedom to go for a counterattack, and Future, we gotta keep pushing, we gotta keep going. Cham gonna try and buy some time. Ooh. Queens are going down though, one after the other. It looks like we will clean this up though. We get on top of the tanks, and one goes down, the other does get saved. At the same time though, Cham going for a big counterattack, and what is there at home to defend? The Marines, they get surrounded. No. The Marines, they will get surrounded. This third base is looking so incredibly vulnerable. Future, he was attacking with everything he had, and there was nothing at home to defend. That's going to be a kill on the entire middle line. 14 dead SCVs, and Future's committed. We gotta go. He's sending it right through the center. Do get on top of some of these Queens, we get on top of the Overlords as well. Across the map, Cham breaking into the natural. He's getting on top of the tank. And Cham has more than enough to defend. As he breaks in, gets on top of the tank, gets on top of the reinforcements as well. A second tank falls. And we have a series. We're going to have a back and forth. The Baileys connect. GG gets called. And Cham ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. A lot of this did come down to the first push. Future, when you're going for a straight up 2-on-1 opener like that, you do need to gain momentum and snowball out of control and be in the driver's seat. For Future to lose all of his Marines that early on, a lot of the wind was taken out of the sails. A lot of his momentum was just kind of stripped away, and yeah, alas, Cham was able to take a lead early on here, and yeah, able to take game number 2 and tie things up 1-1. And with that, we have our next game. We have Future's map pick. It is going to be Oceanborn. Let's go. Oceanborn is coming up next. We're tied up 1-1. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. First to 3 does take the series. Ooh. And Oceanborn does give me some Golden Aura vibes. Again, you can be very assertive on a map like this. Doesn't take too long at all to get across the map, to get that rally going and to snowball out of control. We'll see. We'll see how this does unfold. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Mexican Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is El Chamaco. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran representing Matcherino Esports. It is Future. God, I forgot again. God. The turtle just doesn't want to leave. It's because like I've been making the lobbies. Like whenever I get out of game, I'm looking like a hawk, like looking for the map pick, and I have to make the lobby quickly and add the game heart. I almost said Gamers 8. The game heart mod. And I keep forgetting. God damn it. It's here forever. It's here to stay. Quack. Shaking my head. But now the Overlords are once again fanning out here, looking for any kind of proxy, any kind of shenanigans, as we expect to see here from Cham. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. The turtle, it's sparkling. It's the tuna that's meant to be sparkling, but it's all good. As Future is going for another low ground Rax variation. This is the same opener that Future went for on Golden Aura, fun fact. And again, that's not the only... There's a reason why I mentioned that I'm getting some Golden Aura vibes. I do feel like Oceanborn is very similar in a way, because of the short rushes by ground, because of just how heavily you can rally across the map, the defensive 3-way setup as well. Golden Aura is quite different though. It is a lot more defendable on 3 bases, I will admit that of course, but Oceanborn can be solid as well. This Cham is just going for his hatch gas pool, just going to be droning for the time being. And I imagine Future, oh, interesting, is going to be going for the Marines first. He's looking for Overlords. As I mentioned before, Cham isn't one to move out with his first Overlords. He's just looking for proxies, has controlled the center of the map, but not much else. So the Marines don't find anything, and now we are going into not just a double Rax. That is a third and a fourth Rax. We have a 4 Rax. Let's go. And this is what I was worried about in game 1. Oh god! We're popping up. Okay, so on the one hand, I was gonna say this is why I'm a little bit critical of Cham, because if his opponent was doing something crazy like this, like a 4 Rax, Cham would never know because he doesn't scout with his Overlords. But this time, Cham is going to be the aggressor. We have a Baneling Nest on the way. We're cutting workers at 19, and Cham is Bane busting. And because Future is going for a 4 Rax, no Hellions, no factory production whatsoever, only Marines. And because Future skipped Reapers, Future is going to be the one punished for not scouting. Future is in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. Because he doesn't know that the all-in is upon him, no bunkers. No bunkers whatsoever. Future, the pants, they're all the way. They're not here. They're off. They never came on. Future, he just doesn't wear pants. He's going to be caught completely off guard, and here come the Banelings of Cham. And I don't know how Future can survive against this. We'll see. He's gonna have to have like a miracle hold where he focuses down the Banelings. He can split against he can try to avoid and kite against those Lings as well and pull the boys. And here we go. The Banelings do bust in. The wall has been broken. Good target firing on the Baneling. Good hold position on these SCVs as well. But the Lings, they do break forward. They get us around. And Marines are going down. And as the Marines fall, we're getting on top of those SCVs as well. But the wall was rebuilt for a moment. Cham is running out of steam. And Future, he holds. And he did lose a couple of SCVs, to be fair. Do I not have WSS game heart? Wait, what? Maybe I'm blind. I didn't see the kill count. But we're doubling down. There's no transition, by the way. Cham, he's not droning. He is still doubling down on the all-in. Did kill 11 Marines. Still no bunker. Bold move here by Future. No bunker, but he does have an abundance of Marines to work with. Future, I think he's made it. Like, because of the 4 racks, he has so many Marines available. And with Future's target firing, like, he's ready for it. He's going as close to this wall as he can so he can focus down those Banelings. This is a bold move here, but again, I have faith. I believe. I believe in the power of Future. Oh my god, this is crazy though. Now gonna be moving out. He's taking a chance. I think he assumes that Cham is droning when he isn't. And as a result, we this time have nothing out back at home. The move out hasn't spotted. Cham is looking for the surround. And Future is caught out in the middle of nowhere, forced to stem. And the Lings, they will catch the army. Banelings, they crash on 4. They clean up the Marines. Oh. And Future will lose everything, but at the same time, he's still behind a wall. And this means that there are no Banelings to crash through it. We have a sword economy. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Future survives, taking a lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Future survives the main bus. It was close. He had to pull the boys. He had to hold position at the ramp as well. And I'm gonna get rid of the turtle. I remember. But yeah, really good control, really good target finding on some of those Banelings as well. And Future did survive. And with that, Future is 1 game away from taking this series and winning this show match. He needs 1 more, uno más. Meanwhile, Cham, he has to fight back here and now. Oh. And Cham's map of choice is going to be Alcyone. Interesting. A very interesting map here. One of the more larger maps. A very macro-oriented map with a lot of bases to be taken. A longer rush distance by ground. Really secure 3 and 4 base setup. I'm curious if Cham intends to go for a longer game, or if he maybe has something else up his sleeve. There are the goal bases available as well, and we did see Cham attempt to make mutas work. Mutas would not be a bad option here on this map either. We'll see. Show us what you got. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Mexico, representing Starlight Twinkle, going for a 12 pool. Oh my god, it is Cham. He's crazy. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Maturino Esports, leading the series 2-1. It is Future. The turtle must live. I got rid of the turtle. I apologize. It's gone, Bobby. It's gone. For those wondering, especially if you're tuning in now, earlier today we were casting one of our own tournaments called the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, and we have a logos mod, which is why there was the turtle in the middle of the map, because of our tournament name. Okay, Future, he's going. Okay, so CC first is fine. I'm pretty sure. Oh no. This is not fine. Future is going for a CC first opener into a Rax on the low ground. I was gonna say that against a 12 pool, like, it should be okay, but Cham, he's not going for a 12 pool into Lings. Like, Lings are being made, but we have a Roach Rush behind us, and this Roach Rush is going to be punishing this hard. And I to be fair, I know I said last game, I was like, I don't know how Future defends. He doesn't know what's coming. There's no bunker. He's going to be caught with his pants down. I want to emphasize that a little bit more here, because on the plus side, last game Future had an abundance of Marines. He had 4 Marines to work with, sorry, 4 Raxes to work with, 4 Marine production. He had a massive army, and he was able to survive. Here, he doesn't. He's going for a 3rd CC? No shot. He's going for straight into a 3rd CC before factory. This is as greedy as you can get. I'm getting flashbacks to Equilibrium, to Future versus Strange in the last series. And there's no shot. There's no way. The boys are being pulled. The Lings are going ham, and we have Roaches on the way behind this. Ay, ay, ay. Future cutting so many corners. This is illegal. CC first into a third base. There's one Marine on the way. SCV's already going down. There's two Lings left, one Ling left. We do clean them up. But here come the roaches. The 1-2 punch. It's not about the Lings, it's about the roaches. And because Future didn't go for a Reaper or an SCV scout, he doesn't know if it's just a 12 pull into a macro game or a roach rush. And now he knows. The roaches have been revealed. This bunker will not finish. And we have to evacuate the natural. And there's no wall. There's nothing here on the ramp. Because of the racks on the low ground. Like, there's just nothing stopping Cham. Oh my god. And here we go. 2 Marines going to try to hold the line. We do get the cancel on the bunker. We do have a bunker on the way on the high ground. Deep is going to go down. Supply blocking Future. I mean, actually, he has a lot of supply to work with. Never mind. Because of the CCs. Cham, he's soon to get high ground vision. That bunker is on the way, but it's not done yet. It's going to get biled down. SCVs, they try to get us around, but they do not. GG gets called. Cham punishes the greed. And we're going to the ace match. Oh my god. We are going all the way to game number 5. Yo, Future, he's so unlucky. Both in this series and the last one, whenever Future went for a fast 3rd CC build, remember it happened against Strange on Equilibrium, he just happened to be like up against a very aggressive build. You know, we had Cham going for the all-in, we had Strange going for the 2-gate opener, and Future, he just can't get into his economy. Like, he's been trying. He's been trying to be greedy, but whatever he does, like, there's just no getting away with it. Not at all. And with that, we're getting into the ace match, the final game of this series. Game 5. Here we go. Hello, I like your casting. Keep it up. Oh, thank you, Strange. Congratulations on winning your show match earlier. I hope you had a good time. And I hope you've been enjoying streaming. I've noticed that you've been streaming on your own personal Twitch channel and been quite active. Yeah, hope you've been enjoying yourself. Hope you've been enjoying your time there. And yeah, best of luck in your future WTL matches. We cast you every week. Every week we cast World Team League on this channel, and yeah, wish you the best. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words as we are getting into the ace match. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Mexico representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran, the Red Terran representing Maturino Esports. It is Future. Here we go. And is this for the first... Oh. I was about to say, for the first time this series, are we going for a Rax on the high ground as a part of the ramp? No, Papi, we're going for a Proxy. Proxy 2 Rax on the way here from Future. I'm worried, because remember, what we've been talking about this entire series about the overlords of Cham. Cham specifically doesn't send his overlords across the map to scout and to get a read on the main base. He specifically fans them out to look for proxies, and he will find this. He will come across this eventually. Cham, he's always so safe with his overlord movement here in the early game. Now, it's going to be a late scout. He is going to be going the long way around, eventually coming across these Raxes, so not the most ideal positioning here for Cham, but he will come across this. What else is interesting here is that this is a proxy 2 Rax, not a 3 Rax, so this isn't the most committed cheese out of Future. You can transition out of this, you can work towards a CC and a factory back at home. This is not all in, but very aggressive. This would be all in if this was like 3 Raxes, for example. Or more all in, I should say. So SCVs are moving out, Marines are pushing forward. Drones are being pulled as well. Cham, he did get a read on how many Raxes there were, so he should be able to pull the boys and shut down these bunkers before they do finish. There we go. The boys are being pulled. The goal here is to chase these Marines, to zone them away, and focus down these SCVs. There are only 2 of them. And already we go for the surround. Going for the bunker, actually. Bold move. Drones are being focused down. I'm not too sure if this is worth it here. 5 workers. That's a lot of economic damage already. 5 workers for 1 bunker. That was a kill. Lynx have arrived. But Future takes an economic lead, and we have another bunker on the way. We have another bunker on the horizon. Future, he's gaining his foothold here. That's okay, we're back here. We do cancel the bunker with the revelation with the arrival of this queen. Again, this opener from Future wasn't designed to kill the natural. 2 Raxes can't really accomplish that unless the Zerg player does kind of fumble. And Cham holds. He survives. Future is transitioning. Factory's on the way, floating these Raxes back home. We should be working on an expansion soon as well. Ooh, as we catch an Overlord. Big pickoff. Overlord does go down. And Future, I'm sure, is very happy with the outcome of this. Looking at the units lost tab, Future, he did lose a bunker. That's true. He lost an SCV, but he killed an Overlord and 5 drones. And because of that, Future is ahead economically. He's up in workers. He has mules, of course. CC's going to be on location. Now, to caveat what I just said about Future being ahead, like, true, he's ahead in workers, but his CC is still just now starting, so there is going to be a bit of a lull period, and Cham has the opportunity here to recover and to re-drone, resaturate his bases, and to catch back up. But Cham does have to catch up. So the game is going to settle from here. What else is important is that we do know some Terran players that would go for double expanding. They'd go for a factory, into the low ground CC, into a 3rd base. Here we're going into a 2-1-1 setup, a pseudo 2-1-1. One of the Raxes is floating across the map, but we're going to be quite aggressive here. We're moving out with Marines, Hellions, and soon Banshees as well. So Future, he wants to try to keep the pressure up. He wants to try to keep the momentum on his side. So a very aggressive playstyle here for Future. He doesn't want to give Cham the breathing room he needs to stabilize. Here we go. Hellions are moving out, Marines on the right-hand side, Banshees are on the way, and because Future is being so aggressive and so assertive, he should be safe at home with this CC. Shouldn't really be under too much threat. The Marines have arrived. They dive on top of that hatchery. The Lings are here to try to deal with this. Good stutter stepping, good control out of Future, but he will be cleaned up. A bit of an overextension. At the same time, Hellions, they try to go for the dive. They do commit. Oh. We dive into the natural base. Evo Chamber does wall off the Lings. They come in for a surround, and the Hellions, they get completely shut down. Ay. Future was being hyper aggressive, was trying to keep Cham on the back foot, but he threw away his Marines. He didn't cancel the 3rd. He threw away his Hellions. He didn't kill a drone. And Cham, he's back in this. He isn't just catching up in drones, but he's also shutting down the army of Future. So much is riding on these Banshees. Spore is done though. There's a Spore in the natural, Spore in the main. Banshee comes in, and we do get a drone. Oh, no, we do get 1 worker, but the Queens, they rotate over. There's no detection at the 3rd base, but it's only 1 Banshee. There's only so much that it can do on its own. 2nd Banshee is in production, just now coming out. We do get a couple more workers. Transferring drones, not too bad. 4 workers in total. Looking for a 5th, and we will get it. 5 worker kills, and this is just 1 Banshee, by the way. The 2nd Banshee has arrived, and there is a Spore Crawler, but the Queens are out of position, and we should be able to get a couple more drones. And suddenly, again, we have more of a back and forth here. Future, he did throw away a lot of his army. He's now working in his 3rd CC, but he gets 7 worker kills. Not too bad. Back at home, getting into a setup. Again, it's going to be a 3-1-1 here on 2 bases, which is pretty standard, working towards his 3rd. What is a little bit scary, and there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of onus on Future to try to scout. Spire is on the way. Spire here in the natural. Now, the last time we saw Spire in this matchup was on Golden Aura, and the Banshee harassment of Future did scout the Spire last time. This time, that is not the case. This time, the Spire was thrown down after the Banshees were deflected, and Future is in the dark. We saw, as on Golden Aura, if Future was aware of the Spire, he would move out. He would push, and he would try to punish Cham for cutting corners and for skipping his Banelings, for investing into mutas. But Future, he doesn't know that he has to move out. He doesn't know that there's something to punish. Spire is done. Mutas are on the way. Now, we can see here that also the downside of what Cham is going for is that upgrades are going to be delayed. 1-1 upgrades will be delayed here in favor of additional muta production. We're also getting into baneling speed. We're not actually making too many mutas though. Cham, he makes some safety banelings, which is a little bit interesting to me. Usually you cut corners. Usually you delay making banelings and you hyper-fixate on mutas. But Cham, he only makes enough mutas to harass. We're not committing too hard. Not yet. Meanwhile, Future, he's going to be pushing on the left-hand side. Clearing up quite a bit of creep. And pushing towards the main. At the same time, mutas, they are just bunching up with the rest of the army. And we're looking to collapse on these Marines. Yeah, we get on top of the Marines. We get on top of the medevacs as well. Big connections. Oh my god, and not a single Marine makes it out. The medevacs escape, but the tanks and Marines, they get shut down. At the same time, Banshees do come across the 4th base, but not much to kill. As they head towards the 3rd. But that was brutal. Like, that was so close. Future, he was just 1 second too late when it came to picking up his Marines. He wasn't able to load up. He wasn't able to evacuate. And I do think the Future has been a little bit too wasteful. At least these Banshees are buying time. They're keeping these mutas pinned back at home instead of harassing across the map. And they're giving Future the time that he needs to build up his turrets. Turrets in the middle line, covering the production in the natural at the 3rd. And from here, as the Banshees get cleaned up, we should be even working towards Thors and even Widow Mines. And there it is. Thor production has commenced. Thors are on the way. Future, like these mutas, they are typically designed to catch your opponent off guard, and they kind of did when it came to cleaning up the drop. But they don't do any economic damage, not yet. And Cham doesn't try to go for the dive. He's more concerned about shutting down the drops. Working on 1-1. 4th base is getting saturated. 5th base is on the way for Cham. He's droning up to 80. And he had just really conservative play with these mutas. Like the fact that he hasn't tried to get too much economic damage done, but he does cancel another base. He does cancel the 4th. Not a bad pickup. Rotating around. Again, just trying to contain Future while Cham focuses on building up his Lingbane army back at home. And the station pit is on the way. Oh. Cham could maybe even fight those Marines as he finds a tank. Oh my god. He will get it. Will take a lot of blows though. 2 mutas go down. Sorry, 3 mutas. 3 mutas for 1 tank. Maybe a better trade for Cham, but not an amazing one. 300 gas down the drain. This Future is going to be pushing. The muta's still skirting around. They do make their way into the main base. Turret has been found. Future not quite in position. Uh-oh. No repairs, and Cham, he's going to take control of the main base. At the same time, Future, he is continuing to push out. He is looking quite committed. Does have reinforcements back at home. Does regain control of his main base, and it looks like Future, he's not pushing. He's just trying to establish his 4th. And catch the mutas. That was 4 mutas for 5 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Cham taking some big Thor shots to the face. Meanwhile, behind this, the Hive is finishing. We can then get into Adrenal Glands. There is a window here, of course, before Hive Tech can really kick in. But here comes Cham. He's collapsing on the army. The Lingbane rolls on forward. There's no splits. No Widow Mines either. Big connections with the Banelings, and Cham, he catches Future completely off guard. Future not expecting an assault whatsoever. Lings are getting into the mineral lines. The 4th base is going to be hunted down as well. The medevacs! No! The medevacs are caught out! And so many of them fall. And in one fell swoop, Cham takes a massive supply lead. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, Future, he was keeping up. Did have a rough time earlier when it came to, you know, losing some of his drops and losing some of his army, but yeah, he just wasn't ready for that push. Was completely surrounded. The juggling here for the Thors, they're doing what they can, but the ground army is crumbling. The base itself on fire. And it looks like Cham is going to be able to take this. GG gets called. Cham will take the series 3-2, winning the show match. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, a very dynamic series. Very dynamic, very back and forth here. Went all the way to the ace match. We saw some cheese, we saw aggression from both players. From both players, and in the end, Cham was able to overcome his opponents. Here, in the ace match, it was a rough start for Future, to be honest. Like, when it came to his proxy 2 racks, his follow-up Hellion run-by, and his Marine push, it did feel like Future, he was just losing a little bit too much momentum early on, and with that, Cham will be the winner here. Cham just yelling out, "Hang out the phone!" If you remember, in WTL, Cham, his ceremony was like hanging up the phone or something. I don't know, some like tennis meme. I don't understand it. He's doing it again. GG, well played. My condolences to Future here. He had a really good showing in both show matches against Strange and against Cham. We had a series, you know, we had a back and forth. It wasn't one-sided whatsoever, and that's what at least I always hope for. But this week, Future did struggle a little bit more. Future, he won both show matches in the first edition of the Kashim Friendly Showmatches. This time, a little bit less success. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, these players are quite competitive in their own right. Cham and Strange popping off. Well played. Well played tonight. GG. Tennis me? Yeah, I don't understand. I don't. Hang it up, Bobby. Hang it up. I love when I can hear light strike the fanfare, but yeah. I don't think my mic is meant to pick it up, but it does happen. It does happen. With that, GG, well played, and a big shout out to Kashim in the chat. Kashim, gracias, papi, gracias. He, of course, is a big part of the StarCraft community, not just the Polish scene. I mean, he's a big part of the Polish scene, but even more so, he's a part of, yeah, the greater community overall. Does so much for Liquipedia, does so much for tournaments in general. So thank you so much, Kashim, for organizing this event. Exclamation mark Maturino in the chat. Exclamation mark Maturino if you want to support these players, Future, Cham, and Strange. They all walk away with some money, and you can even boost that prize pool via Maturino yourself. It's available there for you if you're interested, so you can do so. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone that tuned in today, because I do know that our viewership is a little bit lower than normal today because of Home Story Cup, right? We are live here at the same time as Home Story Cup, so we appreciate it if you did tune in, if you like multi-twitched it up and opened up a couple of tabs and a couple of different windows, just absorbing all the StarCraft you can, and yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you dropping by, and hope you enjoy the rest of Home Story Cup. It's been going on all weekend, and I believe tonight is the playoff brackets. Let me just double check, and yeah, tonight is the playoff bracket. Cyril is playing, he's competing, Showtime, Raynor, Clem, Harston, Hero Marine, Skillus. The best of the best in Europe are facing off at the moment in Home Story Cup, so be sure to tune in. Be sure to check it out, as there have been some upsets and there have been some surprising results as well. So I do recommend. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for checking us out. Exclamation mark. I'm sorry, what? I actually keep forgetting that's happening. I mean, I wasn't able to tune into the group stage just because we're going to be casting the replays here on this channel. But I will tune into the playoffs. I'll tune into the playoffs, and I'll be there enjoying it alongside everyone else. Otherwise, if you want to support us, exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. We have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord server, the social, all the commands in the chat to get links to all things CranKy Ducklings. Otherwise, thank you so much for all the support, for tuning in. Stick around, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to send our love to. Where are we? We'll find someone to raid. Otherwise, I guess we can raid Home Story Cup. I mean, they have a lot of viewers already. Like, I always try to raid smaller streamers, just so you can have a chance at actually checking them out, maybe for the first time. So yeah, we'll find someone. We'll raid SE2 full. He's a great guy. Great guy. With that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the support. Make sure you tune into Home Story Cup, and we'll see you guys next time. Hasta luego. Our next broadcast is tomorrow in less than 24 hours with ESL Open Cup Asia. See you then.